is the Ignition Redesign Activity System?
Well, the Ignition Redesign Activity System is sort of a map that lays out a vision for a new way of thinking about high school. It was actually modeled after a map that Apple made for their iPod activity system.
Really?
That I read in a book called Design Thinking. And they had this model of the way Apple envisioned all the areas of activity that were going to make the iPod tie in with the MacBooks, how it was going to tie in with iTunes, how it was going to tie in with the Apple Store. And so I kind of used that as an example, and I thought, okay, how can we lay out our vision for a new high school around the major areas of activity that the system is going to involve. And so there's a couple major areas. One is a competency-based learning system. Another one is a dynamic scheduling system. I believe on there is a wide variety of learning models that we can provide more options for students. And then a crew program, which is sort of like part study hall, part connections, part senior field studies.
Part tutor as well.
Yeah, part tutoring. With those four areas, then the activity system shows how all those pieces fit together in the puzzle so that you can see all the moving pieces in the vision and how they would all fit together to create a new model for how high school might work.
So what do you expect to become of this new system that you're trying to implement?
Oh, well, I'm trying to temper my expectations because we're thinking big, but nobody ever got anywhere thinking small. So my hope is that we can work to make high school a better experience for young people. You know, the high school model is outdated, and it was created over 100 years ago to prepare young people to get careers in the industrial economy. And while we've left the industrial economy behind about 30 years ago, we're still in the same old high school model. And so my expectations is to try to find a way that we can take some of the most innovative approaches that people have developed for schools over the last 20 years and see if we can scale it up to the level of a comprehensive high school. A comprehensive meaning it's a full-service high school. You know, at Bear Creek, we've got AP classes, we've got a theater program, we've got sports programs, we've got engineering programs. And so we're not just a specialty school. We're not like just an art school. We're not just a STEM school. And so the idea is, can we build a comprehensive high school that can deliver a personalized education where students can plug in and find their own pathways towards all the competencies they need to be successful to go on to college and career and be what they call college and career ready. Because of it, the necessity of scale has kind of become like a one-size-fits-all thing. And you know, think of it this way. Think of it like a car. You know, if you get into a car, whether you're 6'3" or you're 5'2", the car is built to adjust to fit your size. So you can adjust the seat, you can adjust the mirrors so that it will fit a small person or a large person or anybody in between. At high school, it doesn't seem like we have too much capabilities to adjust the seat and adjust the mirrors and personalize it for the size or the type of person. And so if we can design to the edges, you know, they design cars to the edges so that the biggest person would fit in it and the smallest person would fit in it, and you can adjust the size that way. And if we can design high school to the edges so that no matter what your needs are in terms of learning, whether you're accelerated, whether you need to move slower, you need to move faster, whether your interest lies over here, your interest lies over there, that we can more tailor the experience to a student's needs instead of shoving them through a one-size-fits-all. You must take this class, this class, this class, and this class to graduate. And even if you fail English 9, and then you pass English 10 and pass 11, and then you're in English 12, but you failed English 9, you have to go back and take English 9 over again because it's a graduation requirement. That seems ridiculous to me. You've passed 10 and 11, and you're in 12. Why do you need to take 9 again? That's a one-size-fits-all system. So if we can think about how we can create a more personalized educational experience, the idea is that young people will be more engaged and it'll be more purposeful for them, and they'll take ownership of it because they're deciding which way they go and which learning models they engage in and which one works best for them, and we provide more options for them.
And with through my own experience, I know a friend who is a great thinker. He has done some great things through English. He has done rhetorical analysis and everything, but he just can't write very well. So with that personalization, like, how would you kind of accommodate people with very specific kind of needs, or like?
Well, we're gonna keep the classes that we have, but hopefully we can add what's called a workshop model, where a student can engage on their own level and through their own interests. So they're working with, instead of a teacher, they're working with like a coach. You know, writing, there's certain skills that you just need to be good at, and we all have the areas that we struggle in. So instead of like giving him the standard assignment that everybody else in the class is getting, hopefully we could see where he is as a writer. Instead of saying, well, you're an English 10, so you should be here, even though you're here, we're going to give you this assignment and hope for the best. You know, if we could get him in a workshop where he can engage and explore his own interests, and then decide what he wants to write about, and then develop his writing skills, because we can't just say, well, you're not good at writing, you don't have to do it. That's not an option. You have to, you know, to be college and career ready in the 21st century, you need to be a great writer. But we could do a better job of accommodating that student's personal needs and putting him in an environment where we can meet him where he is instead of where he's supposed to be, and then move him forward.
What inspired you to create this program and try to change the system?
Well, as a teacher, we have to work within the system too. And we feel this, like the system sort of ties our hands behind our back in terms of what we are able to do for young people. And so in my career, I've had lots of ideas of, if only we could do this, if only we could provide this opportunity, if only we could provide this option. But because of certain graduation requirements, certain district policies, the answer pretty much has been no, no, no. And so most teachers just give up sort of even asking. But I have had a lot of ideas over the years of how things could be better. And then back in September, my father sent me a New York Times article about this contest called the XQ Super School Contest. And it was sponsored by the widow of Steve Jobs. Her name is Laureen Powell. And she's put up $50 million to try to get people to rethink high school. She's going to award 5 winning projects with $10 million apiece, so that people can really start to rethink how high school could be different and better meet the needs of young people. And, you know, even though it seemed like winning a contest was a long shot, I thought to myself, yeah, I've had lots of ideas over the years. Who better than a teacher who works with young people every day to really rethink how high school could be, and what do I have to lose? But the contest made it seem possible, like worthwhile to start working on and thinking on. And so what it did was it got the ball rolling and inspired me to start really thinking seriously about, you know, how things could be different.
What's so different about your program, separate from all the other applicants for this big grant?
I suspect that a lot of people are kind of zeroing in on specialty schools and kind of, you know, this idea of a charter school or a magnet school where, you know, it's smaller and it has a specialty, whether it's an art school or a service learning school or a project-based model or a STEM school. And it serves a small number of people. And when we're rethinking high school, I think we made a really strong argument that if you're going to redesign high school, it has to be for everyone. It has to be a high school model that will work for all people. And our hope is that we can come up with a system that then can be replicated and personalized for different communities, but the system can be replicated anywhere, so that high school, these opportunities are available to all students and not just the ones that have special resources or win a lottery.